So we have a data type or an interface called category, entity category, which is basically defining the entire structure of a data category. Okay, so we have been talking about category every now and then. So category will have ID, label, description, and props, screens, the ID to app, right? App ID, not in nav's property. When we are defining a category, we say don't show it by default in the navigation, the main menu, and some extras, some prop groups and versions things, and uh, if it is a core category or system defined category. Now, props and screens are important. So screens are the action screens. It is referring to those. Props are referring to the property definitions. So every property, once again, is an instance of entity prop, and you see it is an array. So a category will have multiple property definitions, and each property definition, once again, has so many things. It will have an ID, a label or a name that you put as name, description, a reference to editor component, a viewer component, data type of the property. Uh, if it is an entity, then we will also be able to set entity or entity inline. A category has to be specified. Multiplicity, we have used it quite a lot. Some extras that we set, a default value for the property can be set, and then some visibility related things where we say no new means it should not be displayed on the default uh, create screen. No edit means it should not be visible on the default edit screen. When I say default, if you have not specified a custom action screen, then these will be applicable. If you have defined your custom action screen for create or edit, then these are not applicable. No queue view means not on a quick view. For example, when you are seeing a list of entities of a particular category, then that gets displayed in quick view. For example, the tabular view or even the um, regular list view, only quick view is displayed. Quick view means you want to only show some of the attributes, some of the properties, and not all. So you can decide, okay, this particular property is not to be displayed on quick view. It is only to be visible on a detail view. We use it quite a lot. No search means when you are having a default search for this prop, it will not show up in the property choices. When you are creating a search filter, just search condition, whether this will show up as a choice or not. A quick search means when you are doing a type ahead, if you want to consider this particular property inside that. So by default, only name property is considered for quick search. But suppose you have defined a property called uh, description, and that is in the context of the category. When you are doing a search, we are doing for a category. So if I want the category, a particular category to be searched by the name property as well as description property. So in description property definition, I will say no search, quick search, true. By default, it is false. Read only, as you know, it will be visible, but you cannot modify even on edit or create screen. Translate, that was introduced long ago, not in use right now. Hidden, as the name suggests, it is not making the property visible anywhere. Disabled and read only are same. Validators. Now, on every property, you can put a list of validators like required, JSON, email, unique, those kind of validators. Depends on props, was used earlier. It's not very commonly used, but again, it is useful when you are using the default screen and you say, okay, this property's value depends on some other property. Okay, group ID and serial number is these are required. if you want to group your properties into separate tabs. So group ID indicates a tab, and then serial number is okay. So on a particular screen, if you want to change the default order of display, you can use serial number. So your properties will be sorted by serial number, right? You might have listed them in certain order, but on a edit screen or a view screen, you want to show them in a different order than the property listing that you have in your categories. You can use serial number. Or if you want to put them on groups or of individual tabs, when you're using the default screen again, group IDs will be helpful. Okay, so this is how the entity, category, and entity structure is defined. Let's understand the relationship between category and entity once again. So category is the data type definition. And what is data type? When we have to deal with data of multiple data points or multiple copies of similar type of data, then we define it as a data category. In a traditional our relational database management system design approach, these are called tables. So every data entity will have a equivalent table definition. Here, we are not storing things in tables or not even thinking in terms of tables. We are thinking those as objects, JavaScript objects or JSONs. So a data entity is basically an equivalent of a JSON or JavaScript object or a document, if we can say like that. And document is nothing but a hierarchical, tree structured set of key value pairs. Okay, so typical JSON. So category is about the structure given to that content. Now, by default, MongoDB is a NoSQL, no structured database, very flexible. But because we are not telling the world that we are storing the data in MongoDB, and also to have some logic, we need to define this type of the data. Then only we can have some control over the data. Control while accepting a new entry, while modifying the entry, while displaying the entry, we can have some control. So type definition is important, and a particular data type is defined as category or entity category, to be specific. In this entity category will have properties. So each category will have a unique ID and descriptive name, as well as a bunch of properties. And now each property I just described, what are the attributes of each property.